ever felt this restless ache in your life? Or maybe you finally achieved a huge goal, and instead of feeling amazing, you just felt kind of empty. Well, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're diving straight into this explainer to unlock the book of Ecclesiastes. We're going to uncover the true meaning behind that famous phrase, all is vanity. And honestly, get ready, because we're about to completely shift your understanding of what's probably one of history's most misunderstood ancient texts. Let's get right into it.
Okay, right out of the gate, we're hit with this incredibly famous quote. "Vanity of vanities," says the preacher, "vanity of vanities. All is vanity." Now, when you hear that, what's your gut reaction? It sounds like this deeply pessimistic, almost whiny complaint about human existence, right? Like the writer is just throwing his hands up in total despair. But, as we're going to see, jumping to that conclusion completely misses the profound, brilliant philosophy that's actually packed into this one single sentence. So, first things first, we actually need to disrupt pretty much everything you might assume about this text. When we hear the word vanity today in modern English, we instantly think of pride, right? Or narcissism, someone staring a bit too long in the mirror. Or on the flip side, we think it means sheer nihilism, this dark idea that absolutely nothing matters at all. But thousands of years ago, the original intent was totally different. It actually meant emptiness, futility, or literally, a puff of smoke. Modern English has kind of completely distorted the author's original incredibly vivid metaphor. To truly get what's going on here, we have to look at the core linguistic anchor of the whole text. It's the Hebrew word hevel. Now, this word pops up around 38 times in Ecclesiastes alone, and its literal translation, vapor, breath, mist, or a puff of air. I want you to picture something with me. Vividly imagine stepping outside on a freezing cold winter morning and just exhaling. You see your breath, right? It's undeniably real, hanging right there in front of you. But try to grab it. You literally can't. It's entirely elusive, super brief, ungraspable. It's impossible to hold on to. And that right there, that is the foundational concept of this entire philosophy. Now, what's really fascinating here is looking at how scholars have tried to translate Hebel into English over the years. You see words like vanity, meaningless, vapor, fleeting, absurd. And the thing is, every single English word catches just one little facet of the truth, but they all have a built-in weakness. Take meaningless, for example. It captures the frustration perfectly, but it accidentally makes the author sound like this massive nihilist who thinks life is completely pointless. But here's the secret. The ambiguity of Hebel isn't a mistake. It is literary brilliance. The author deliberately chose a word that's frustratingly difficult to pin down because he's describing life itself, which is frustratingly difficult to pin down. So let's unpack the 4 overlapping layers of this vapor metaphor because it goes deep. Layer 1, life is temporary. King Solomon, who's traditionally considered the author here, is basically forcing us to look in the mirror and honestly face our own fleeting mortality. Human achievements, they disappear. Generations die. Massive, powerful empires crumble into dust. And our memory fades just as quickly as that breath on a cold morning. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's step 1. And that builds directly into the second layer. Life isn't just temporary. It is deeply, profoundly elusive. You literally cannot fully grasp it. The text points out over and over again that you just can't know everything God is doing behind the scenes. Outcomes are entirely unpredictable. Even having the greatest wisdom in the world won't let you completely master existence. Just when you think, I've got life all figured out, it just slips right through your fingers like smoke. Which beautifully, or maybe painfully, illustrates the third layer. Life is frustratingly inverted. I mean, we all see this, right? We all witness these painful paradoxes every single day in a fallen world. Good people suffer terribly, while awful, evil people somehow seem to prosper. Fools strike it rich, and the wisest people you know die exactly the same way the fools do. Solomon is actively wrestling with the brutal, messy irregularities of a world that just flat out refuses to operate on clean, simple moral equations. And that brings us to the 4th and final layer of Hebel. Honestly, this is arguably the central thrust of the entire text. Earthly life is fundamentally unsatisfying as an ultimate source of meaning. Things like pleasure, wealth, or your career, they aren't worthless, they really aren't, but they are entirely, completely insufficient as gods. Your human accomplishments, no matter how great they are, simply cannot bear the crushing weight of providing ultimate meaning for your life. Now, to really grasp Solomon's logic here, we absolutely need to define a crucial interpretive key. It's a phrase that pops up repeatedly throughout the book, under the sun. Whenever you see this phrase, you have to understand that Solomon is specifically examining life strictly from within the bounds of a fallen, temporal, purely earthly perspective. He is asking a very, very specific question. What can human beings actually gain from life itself, by life itself, if you completely remove any eternal grounding in God? And the wild part? Solomon wasn't just sitting in an ivory tower guessing about this. He actually conducted a grand experiment. Think about it. As the most successful king of his time, he had literally every earthly advantage imaginable at his fingertips. So he exhaustively tested everything. Pleasure, staggering achievement, vast knowledge, nonstop entertainment, massive wealth, sensuality, absolute power. Guys, he ran the exact same experiment that our entire modern culture is still frantically trying to repeat today. And after exhausting every single item on that list, his final conclusion was that the whole shebang is just Hibel. It's all vapor. It's so critical that we frame Solomon correctly here. He is absolutely not just some depressed, grumpy king journaling his sad thoughts. No, he is operating as a brilliant philosopher who's executing a highly necessary demolition project. He is systematically taking a sledgehammer to every single earthly idol we have. Money, success, our intellect, our illusion of control. And why? So that the human soul finally wakes up and stops trying to build an eternal home out of vapor. He's tearing down our false reliance on things that were literally never meant to save us in the first place. Now hold on, I want to assure you about something really important. Solomon is absolutely not saying that creation has no beauty. Not at all. Actually, people misunderstand Ecclesiastes all the time, thinking it's this incredibly anti-joy, miserable book. But throughout the text, he repeatedly encourages us to actively enjoy the beautiful gifts around us. Enjoy a great meal. Find deep satisfaction in a hard day's work. Cherish your friends. Rejoice in the simple, daily blessings. Creation itself isn't the problem here. These things are wonderful gifts from God. The problem only explodes when we try to squeeze eternal, ultimate fulfillment out of these temporary things.
So I want to pause for a second and just pose this really provocative question directly to you. Why does the human heart remain so relentlessly restless, even though we have more entertainment, more possessions, and more status than at any other point in human history? I mean, we live in a culture that is frantically, exhaustingly repeating Solomon's ancient experiment every single day. We have more of literally everything, yet we are constantly burnt out in this never-ending pursuit of self-fulfillment. It's simply because eternity cannot be filled with temporary things. It just doesn't work. And that brings us right to where this entire journey has been leading us. After all the intense searching, after the total demolition of every false idol, Solomon finally arrives at this ultimate conclusion at the very end of the book: fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. This right here? This changes absolutely everything about how we read the text. It takes that floating, elusive, ungraspable vapor of life and anchors it solidly into something permanent and eternal. So, the absolutely crucial point is right here. We have to definitively shift away from that dark, nihilistic misunderstanding that nothing matters at all. That's just atheistic despair, and frankly, it completely misses the mark. The true message of Ecclesiastes is incredibly profound. Nothing created can bear the weight of ultimate meaning apart from God. Think about it. Our careers, they're really good, but they aren't ultimate. Worldly pleasures are fantastic gifts to be enjoyed, but they make for terrible, terrible gods. Ultimately, this actually makes Ecclesiastes one of the most deeply, profoundly merciful texts in all of history. It teaches us how to hold life with open hands. It invites us into humility, into a healthy awareness of our own mortality, and into a posture of deep reverence and dependence on God. It's calling us to hold all these earthly things with immense gratitude but loosely. It literally frees us. It frees us from the exhausting, crushing burden of demanding from this world what this world was never, ever designed to give us. Which leaves us with this incredibly powerful final thought to wrap up our explainer today. The world is truly beautiful. We are absolutely meant to enjoy it, but it is vapor-shaped. You cannot hold on to it, and it definitely cannot save you. Only God is eternal enough for the human soul. I really hope this explainer has completely shifting how you view your own pursuits under the sun. The next time you see your breath on a freezing cold morning, I hope it serves as a beautiful little reminder to let go of the vapor and hold on to what is actually eternal. So I have to leave you with this. What vapor are you exhaustingly chasing today? And what would happen if you finally opened your hands and just let it go?